Hey there guys, it's Anthony here at Cutting Edge Guitar, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to play lightning fast guitar runs. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, just before I get into this lesson, I would like to ask you, please do smash that like button if you're enjoying my content. Subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss out on any of my future lessons, and that will help me out massively if you do. So just please help me out. Cheers guys. Okay, so lightning fast guitar runs. I get asked about this sort of thing all the time. How do I get faster? How do I play as fast as my idol? Whether that's Jimi Hendrix or Guthrie Govan or whoever else it is. So some of the stuff that we just need to cover. This is something that a lot of people don't really want to hear, but it's the ugly truth, and we need to accept it. You can't play fast, awesome guitar unless you know what you're doing. So like not knowing scales, not knowing theory and how it all connects to the fretboard, not knowing your arpeggios, all of this stuff. It just hurts you so bad not knowing that sort of thing. And the thing is, everyone's out there, I say everyone, that's an exaggeration, but there's a lot of people out there on the internet telling you these days, you don't need it. You can learn to play lead guitar without scales, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's clever marketing tactics because they know that that's what most people want to hear. They want the easiest route possible. But the fact of the matter is, it just doesn't work. Now, there's lots of reasons why, which I'll perhaps get into in various other videos, but the short of it is, let's say you're playing over this chord. It's an A minor 11 chord. Well, the first thing is, like an A minor 11 chord, someone who might be coming to me for lessons or whatever, they'll go, oh, I want to solo over this backing track because I really like it. It says it's just an A minor 11 chord repeated. What on earth do you play over an A minor 11 chord? Oh, well, there's your problem, right? You're not going to play lightning fast guitar runs over something if you don't know what notes to use. So you've got to learn your fretboard. You need to know where the scale notes are. And the thing is, this ugly thing about scales, so many guitarists, they hate when, oh, I don't want to practice my scales, it's boring and this and the other. Don't see it that way. You just don't want to look at them as if they're a painful, boring thing. What you need to do is look at them going, oh, okay, if I just learn these shapes on the neck, and if I learn them along the length of strings and across the neck and start combining them up and down the fretboard, all of that stuff, all the scales they're just telling me where the right notes are. Now you're on the right track to being able to play lightning fast guitar runs if you know where you're going to go, okay? So let's flip over to the actual guitar and have a look at something. So if I was going to play on something like an A minor 11 chord, I would want to be using the Dorian mode over that. Okay, now to play a lightning fast guitar run, first and foremost, you need to know where the notes of that scale are. So I would probably learn it in a combination of something called the Cage system, the 3 notes per string system, and then I'd also want to learn it along the length of strings so that I can connect all of that stuff together to play my runs. Once you've got that, you also need to be working on a second phase. You need to work on the technique. So I'm going to play a run that's using basically a lot of hammer-ons. You can do lots and lots of different things with all of this stuff, but the basic technical cell that I'm going to use is this thing here. So it's basically a hammer-on idea. The full run that I'm going to do is this. Now, effectively, what I need to do is build that speed in my fingers before I can be able to play the full run, okay? So what I would do is I'd practice a number of different exercises. So I'd do this one, just work on that fingering. So I'm using fingers 1, 2 and 4, and I'm playing frets 2, 3 and 5 on both the 6th string and the 5th string. Now, if you want to really see results with that sort of thing, you need to do it with a bit of structure. So what I would do is I'd work that exercise up to speed with a metronome. Start slow and progressively work up your speed in the same way as when you go to the gym. Like when you're out of shape, you don't walk into a gym and just be like, right, I'm going to go and run a marathon on the on the treadmill, I want to do like, you know, however many kilometers on the rowing machine in super quick time. No, you have to build up to that, right? That doesn't work. So use your metronome, build up speed with that first fingering. Then what I would also do is I'd work on this fingering, so a wider stretch, same fingers, but I'd use frets 3, 5 and 7. And then just do the exact same exercise. Because once you've built that up to speed with those two different fingerings, it starts transferring around the guitar neck. Now on the particular run that I'm using, that fingering is pretty much the same thing that's being used over and over and over again. But depending on what part of what scale you're using, you might want to work on doing the same sort of thing with like a fingers 1, 3 and 4 configuration. As I'm doing all of this as well, you can see I'm using hammer-ons. So this is pick, hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, hammer. Okay, so I've talked about doing these exercises in individual scale chunks. And then build up the speed. But then what we're going to do as I play this all the way across the fretboard, I'm effectively taking different positions of that scale that I talked about, which is called A Dorian, and I'm connecting different areas of the neck. So as this run spans the fretboard, how I'm viewing this, how I'm visualizing it, I'm seeing this as a full scale shape here. So the full scale shape would look like this. And then next door to that, I've got this full scale shape. Then next door to that, I've got this. And so on. It moves all the way up the fretboard. So once you've learned all of these different scale shapes, so this is a system that's called 3 notes per string. Once you've learned all of these different scale shapes, what you do is just insert that little hammer-on idea into the next position of the scale. What I do when I move to that next position, I actually play a little bit more of the scale. So I progress from the 6th string up to the 4th and the 3rd string. I then take another sort of lateral shift into the next position. All the way to the highest string, the high E string. Then I'm going to take another lateral shift into one more position. And then just exit to an A note. So all the way through, slowly that run becomes... And again up to speed. So the thing is with this, effectively, that's how you go about building runs. Now, as a general strategy for playing fast lead guitar, what you could suggest is that you would use things like 3 notes per string or 4 notes per string or lateral shifts along the length of strings as your vehicle to move around scales, keys, you know, however you want to refer to it. And then you use things like the caged system to put you into a position where you would use pentatonic forms or arpeggios or something like that to play your phrased, melodic, tasty lines that you might want to do. A lot of people out there might not want to play fast, and you know, fine, but then you probably wouldn't be watching this video if you don't want to play fast. So, but that is the 3 sort of phases really that I would teach any student that you've got to go through if you want to be able to play fast. First, you need to know where things are on the fretboard, because you've got to be able to think your way across the neck to get to the notes you want to play. Then you've got to have the technical facility to be able to execute them. So you worked on fretboard knowledge, you worked on technique. Finally, you want to play fast runs, you might want to play metal runs, you might want to play classic rock fast runs, you might want to play fusion, you might want to play jazz, you know, whatever it is, you want to turn the technical facility that you've built into a working musical vocabulary that works over the chords and over the chord progressions and stuff like that. So again, even with that, understanding the theory as to what scale would fit over what chords means that once you've got a run that you go, okay, this is like a nice A Dorian run, for example, you know, you need to play that over an A Dorian type chord, A minor 7, A minor 11, A minor 9, whatever it is. So a bit of theory in there also massively helps, but the main thing is you need to be very aware of all that BS that's telling you that it's going to be easy. It's not. Now, I'm not saying, although it's not easy, I'm not saying that it can't be straightforward, because that's a different thing. I practiced a very specific technical method, and I practiced the fretboard in a very specific way, and it all came together and I learnt it all. And I believe that anyone with a structured plan in place can also achieve the same results. Now, if you want help with that, I would suggest checking out my online platform, Cutting Edge Guitar, where I've got lesson packs, downloadable lesson tutorials, advanced online courses, books, and way more that will help you. And you can also take lessons with me. I have very limited spaces for that, but if you want to take a lesson with me, there is an option to be able to do that there. And I'm very keen to help if I can. Another thing, of course, if you just want to sit and watch my stuff on YouTube instead of getting involved in the platform, then just like, subscribe, and I plan to do plenty more of these for you going forward. So hopefully I'll see you in another video soon. Also, if you've got things that you would like to ask me about, drop me a line in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video for you. Alright guys, you take care. I'll see you in another one.